Okay, Assalamualaikum and very good morning to everyone. Okay, so today we were going to go to the chapter 2, which is a network model. Okay, as you know, a computer network uses a combination of a hardware and the software that send data from one location to another. So the task of the sending data from one point in the world to another can be broken into several tasks to perform by the separate software or the layers of the software. At the end, the data will be sent from the source to destination. So a computer network connects two or more devices together to share the information and the services. The multiple networks connected together from an inter-network. So the inter-networking presents some challenges. One of the challenges is an interoperating between the products from the different manufacturers, which requires a consistent standards. So kita tahu many of our devices have different come from the different brand and manufacturers. So in order that all the devices can be connected, okay, and communicate together, therefore the manufacturers need to have a consistent standard. So therefore the network models will be developed to address these challenges. Okay, this is the learning outcome for this topic. At the end of this topic, the student should be able to understand the concept of the network model, to understand the difference, to understand each types of models and its function, and also to differentiate the OSI model and the TCP/IP model. So the network models, okay, actually is a blueprint or the framework for detailing how the communication between the network devices should occur. So a network model is used to conceptualize how the network should be worked by defining a set of network layers and how they will be interacted. So the network model will reflect the design or architecture to accomplish a communication between the different systems. Okay, so the network models are also referred as a network stack or the protocol suite. Okay, so we can see that uh, without the framework, okay, the network model will provide all the network hardware and software would have been proprietary. So organization would have been locked into a single vendor's equipment, and the global networks like the internet would have been impractical. So if possible for worldwide, bila kita nak connect to the internet of worldwide, okay, kita kena pakai the same vendor ataupun the same manufacturers in order for you to communicate. For example, kalau you communicate using a Mac, so you only communicate with the Mac because you use the same standard. If the manufacturer have come their own standard by itself, so therefore network model ni sangat main peranan penting, okay, untuk memastikan, okay, standard communications has been provided in order the communication can be work and function as required. Okay, so basically network model ni sebenarnya dia organize dalam bentuk layer. So each layer will represent a specific network function. So these functions are controlled by the protocols. So which are rules that govern end-to-end communication between the devices. So the protocol of one layer will interact with the protocols on the layer above and before even forming a protocol suite or the stack. Okay, dalam network model ni dia menggunakan konsep layer, okay, di mana kita boleh buat satu analogi, okay. Konsep network model ni dia ambil daripada analogi di mana dalam bentuk layering, okay, di mana kita boleh imagine kita hantar surat, okay, kepada kawan kita, family kita, kekasih ke, okay. So bila kita sending email, surat, okay, so di surat tu kita akan retain, so all the message tu, okay, akan kita letakkan di dalam I will return, and then apa yang sender akan buat, sender akan masukkan dia ke dalam envelope and then masukkan ke dalam mailbox, okay. Alright, so lepas itu surat tu kita akan letak, the mailbox the letter will be carried, okay, from the mailbox to post office dekat tempat pengurusan office di sesuatu kawasan lah. So dekat situ kita akan letak address, okay, letakkan postcode, letakkan untuk penerima. So bila dah sampai bila dah letter tu dibawa ke post office, so surat tersebut terus akan dihantar ke carrier by the post office lah. So dia pergi ke pusat center yang near to the destination. So untuk hantar daripada situ, dia akan menggunakan transmission medium. Okay, dia akan menggunakan medium. Okay, so kalau dia akan menggunakan medium. Contoh, kalau surat tu kita kena hantar dekat overseas, okay, so maknanya dia kena melalui sama ada udara ataupun laut. Kalau dia dalam Malaysia sahaja, okay, so dia boleh hantar melalui darat. Okay, dan kalau kalau benda tu jauh besar, so kita kena naik van lah, so darat, okay. Ataupun kalau di dalam KL tu kita hanya boleh deliver dalam masa yang paling dekat lah. Okay, so dalam international media ni, so bila sampai ke tempat kawasan penerima, okay, surat tersebut akan dikumpul di dalam pusat pengumpulan di kawasan yang berdekatan, dan kemudian apa yang dia buat, dia akan look at your address, send the receiver address, dan dia akan tengok, okay, this surat is belong to which kawasan, mukim, daerah, okay. Lepas tu bila dia dah ni, dia akan hantar ke pusat pengumpulan yang berdekatan dengan penerima surat tersebut, dan apabila dia menerima surat tersebut, okay, dan dan postman akan menghantar mengikut kawasan atau taman ataupun kawasan daerah yang bertanggungjawab untuk hantar surat tersebut lah, dan sampailah ke receiver. So proses ni, okay, konsep ni sebenarnya is normally kita guna bila kita nak hantar surat. So network model menggunakan this concept ataupun this layer approach ni dengan menggunakan higher layer, middle layer dan juga lower layer. Higher layer normally dia akan near to the user, either a sender ataupun receiver. So because they near to the user in order to use the application. Okay, kalau at the middle layer dia akan transform, okay, dia akan carry, okay, untuk tentukan di mana surat ni akan dihantar, okay, atau di mana surat ni akan diterima di pusat pengumpulan. Dan seterusnya apabila sampai dekat lower layer, dia akan dah decide dah, okay, surat ni nak dihantar melalui apa, udara ke, air ke, melalui laut ke, melalui darat ke, okay. Ini bergantung kepada destinasi ataupun kawasan yang nak surat tu dihantar. Okay, so this is the concept of network model. So benda ini, konsep ini digunakan, okay, apabila the data is being transmitted ke dalam network. Okay, so kalau every manufacturers yang need to provide the communication devices, dia kena ikut this kind of analogy. Okay, alright, there have two most recognized network model. One is the open system interconnection model ataupun dikenali sebagai OSI model, dan yang kedua dia dikenali sebagai internet model ataupun we call sebagai TCP/IP model. Okay, so kita pergi tengok dekat OSI model. Okay, OSI model ataupun the open system interconnection model is actually a network model that used to understanding the data communication between any two network system. Okay, so it divided the communication process into several layers. So OSI model ni dia menggunakan 7 layers, and each layers have their own functions, and setiap layer ni dia have the formats of data that will be represented for each layer. For example, kita pergi from the top to bottom. The 7th layer are going to the applications because this application near to the user. So you use application in order for you communicate. Contohnya awak pakai web browser, awak pakai email, awak pakai email services, apa tu awak pakai domain, awak pakai file transfer untuk upload data dokumen awak. So all these things applications will provide the services. So dia masih dalam bentuk data. So as they go along to the next layer, okay, which is a presentation layer. So this presentation layer will help to how to compress your punya data and representing your data dalam bentuk, contoh kalau you hantar video dalam bentuk format video lah, dalam bentuk text, dalam bentuk numbers, and it will be encrypted and it's being compressed. Okay. So masih apabila dia going to the next process, remember yang lighter tadi dia masuk dalam envelope, so dia akan di sini dalam OSI layer dia akan menggunakan pembungkusan. So the process pembungkusan tu dipanggil sebagai encapsulation. So in this chapter kamu tak akan belajar detail lah macam mana encapsulation tu berlaku, tapi at least you have to know proses daripada from upper layer, from each layer, from the sender to receiver, dia akan mengalami proses encapsulation, okay, ataupun kita panggil dia bungkus, okay, daripada satu layer kepada satu layer lain. Okay, apabila dia dah sampai ke presentation, dia dah bungkus you punya data tadi, okay, dalam bentuk format-format yang dikendaki, then dia go to the next layer, dia bungkus lagi dalam bentuk session layer. So dalam session layer ni dia akan ada berfungsi untuk inter-host communication and establish the communication between the host. Dia establish saja, okay, so data tu, so that the data can be transmit, okay, to the next layer. So dia melalui proses pengurusan masih lagi dalam bentuk data, okay. Alright, the next layer adalah transport layer. So dekat di transport layer ni lah di mana they have an end-to-end connection and also reliability. So dekat situ reliability, how they do the reliability dengan do some error checking, okay, and order control, okay, supaya you meet the objective of your communication tadi, which is your correctness, okay. So dia kena betul, okay. So dekat transport layer ni dia akan ada do error checking. So bila dia do some error checking at the transport layer, data awak tu tadi akan dibungkus, okay, menggunakan proses encapsulation through your encapsulation process, and this data bila dah bungkus dalam transport layer dia akan menjadi segment, okay, dia bukan lagi nama data dah, okay, dia menjadi segment. So siapa yang akan bungkus, okay, this segment, data di dalam transport layer ni, normally kita akan ada devices that work in the transport layer. For example, your router, okay, alright, used for to bungkus untuk dia punya data, okay, dalam bentuk segment. So di masa ini, okay, protocol will be governed, okay, through your segment, di mana dekat sini dia akan seal awak punya setiap segment tersebut dengan menggunakan port address. Why? Because this port address representing what are kind of services that being used by the user. Contoh kalau you web browser, dia seal dengan you pakai HTTP protocol, so therefore dia seal your punya segment tadi tu dengan port 80. Okay, kalau you pakai email, you use the email services, you hantar email, okay, so you are Yahoo maker, Gmail, so you akan the protocol that rules for the email tu akan menggunakan send mail transfer protocol dan dia menggunakan port 25 for example, okay. So dia seal, okay, with the address, okay. So bila they go to the next layer, which is a network layer, okay, data you tadi, okay, this network layer akan menentukan di mana where is your segment tadi, dia akan dibungkus lagi menjadi paket. So dekat paket ni dia akan seal lagi dengan IP address. Sebab pada masa ini, in this layer, dia bertanggungjawab untuk memastikan ke mana paket awak akan dia route. Okay, for example, kalau awak pergi pakai GPS also, kalau kamu tersalah tempat, okay, dia akan routing the data. So actually the routing data tu sebenarnya the route, okay, they search the nearby of the route, okay, of the path, okay, for that, so that you can reach to your destination. Same goes to the data. So bila sampai dekat data, dekat network layer, so network layer ni dia akan berfungsi untuk tentukan the path, okay, of your packet. Kat mana packet awak nak dihantar, okay, ataupun kat mana nak diterima. Okay, so this layer is quite important, very important, dan di mana macam mana dia nak tahu, dia kena ada let's seal with the IP address. Okay, dekat sini dia menggunakan internet protocol. Di mana dekat situ ada logical addressing, okay, untuk source dan juga destination. That is network layer. Okay. Next, okay. Lepas paket tu dia dah dihantar, sebelum network tu dihantar, dia akan melalui satu proses lain. Okay, dia bungkus lagi on the data link layer. Actually data link layer so dia tertinggal link dia. Okay, so in the second layer which is the data link layer. Data link layer ni akan berfungsi untuk buat error control and also error checking lagi sekali. Okay, to make sure the data is to be correct. Okay, apabila dibungkus dalam data, apabila packets awak tadi dia melalui proses pembungkusan, dia akan menjadi frame. Okay, so frame ni kita akan seal lagi dengan kita punya physical addressing. Okay, dan bila dia akan pergi to the next layer which is we call a physical layer. So dekat physical layer ni dia are responsible untuk represent you pun setiap frame awak tadi into a bits. Kenapa bit? Sebab you punya computer are using a digital. So they are using a binary. So bila binary tu dia akan they are ready to become bits, and before it can be convert into a signal supaya dia boleh masuk ke dalam transmission medium. So ini akanlah proses dia daripada sender, daripada application layer sampailah dia sampai ke transmission medium. Okay, alright. So sampai ke transmission medium sampai physical layer. So sampai mungkin dia dah habis physical layer, dia represent into bits. So the responsible of the channel untuk channelkan dia ke mana. Sebab berdasarkan address yang diberikan. Okay, so sampai dekat receiver, so receiver akan buka lah. Okay, setiap tu dari layer tu the physical layer, pergi data link layer, pergi ke network layer, pergi ke transport layer and so on. So dia pergi ke situ dan proses tu dipanggil sebagai decapsulation. Dia buka. Okay, so bila dia buka dia tengok, oh ni data ni ada kat physical address. Oh kat sini. Okay, so dia pergi ke network. Network kata, oh kat sini data awak, paket awak kat sini. So dia pergi kat sini, dia akan pergi ke hantar ke tempat yang sepatutnya, to the receiver. Okay, that is the TCP model. Now we go to the next category, which is the TCP/IP model. So dalam TCP/IP model, okay, so this is TCP/IP ataupun Internet Protocol ni was developed prior to the OSI model. Dia adalah adaptasi daripada OSI model. So OSI model dia ada 7 layer dan this TCP/IP is commonly known as a TCP kerana dia foundation to the protocols that suit with the transmission control protocol and also the internet protocol. So that's why the TCP/IP model ni dia sebenarnya dia bukanlah benda baru. Dia adalah adaptations daripada OSI model. Dia simplified sebenarnya daripada the simplified the layers that need to be involved ketika when you communicate the inter-networking. Alright. So this is the TCP model. So dia banyak bergantung kepada protocols. They run each layer into a protocol. So TCP/IP model dia ada 4 layer. One is we call a network access. Okay, so of course dia ada physical address. Okay, so dia akan ada Ethernet frames dan juga physical media di sini. Dan bila dia pergi the next layer, we call it internet IP, internet layer. So internet layer ataupun dikenali sebagai IP layer, dia mengandungi source and IP address, okay, of the particular packets. Okay, and the transport layer, okay, dia adalah host to host communication antara the communication segment and also the diagram. So dia menggunakan protokol of the TCP dan UDP, transmission communication protocol, dan UDP adalah user datagram protocol. So once the data has been transported into to the sender ataupun the receiver, okay, the application layer berfungsi untuk as an interface of the endpoint of your services. Okay, either using a web browsing, either using email, either using a file transfer. Okay, so di sini application model will be used, okay, and they will be sent to the user or they will be received to the user. Okay. So apa beza antara OSI model dengan TCP/IP model? Okey, kalau kita tengok sebelah kanan tu adalah OSI model dengan ada 7 layer, okey, di mana ia berfungsi, setiap layer ada fungsi masing-masing. Tetapi didapati ada some of the layers, okay, can be combined, okay, because of the advancements of the technology. Okay, so therefore some of the several layers has been combined. For example, kalau untuk application layer, okay, in the TCP/IP dipanggil sebagai application layer, di mana dia application, presentation dan session layer ni dia dah combine together menjadi application layer dalam TCP/IP. So kalau mau tengok semua services yang ada dalam bentuk protokol ni, okay, dia adalah protokol and services that being used dalam application layer. So dia dah tahu dah siap-siap, okay, protokol apa yang dia pakai. Contoh dia nak browsing, dia dah tahu dah HTTP. Kalau dia nak ping, dia dah tahu dah ping punya protokol. Okay. Alright, so the next layer, transport layer masih remain, and the network layer also masih remain sama kerana dia tak boleh ubah, dia tak boleh combine sebab this is a very crucial layer, okay, in order to determine the path and also the packet that to be routed, okay, by the network devices. And then we can see that the data link layer and the physical layer ni has been combined, okay, menjadi network interface di dalam TCP/IP. Okay, dan di sini dia akan banyak menggunakan Ethernet protocol. Okay, itu adalah TCP/IP. Right, so right now kalau pergi internet, if you are going to internet, so the TCP/IP protocol is much sufficient. They use a TCP/IP models, okay, is sufficient for you in order for you to communicate to the internet. Okay, so they have 3 types of addressing. So bila dia nak hantar dalam TCP/IP of the protocol suite ni, dia akan ada 4 jenis. Okay, 4 jenis address. Okay, antaranya ialah physical address. So physical address actually the address node that address node ni dia defined by the types of your punya network. Okay, previously you dah belajar dalam chapter 1. Okay, the type of network is to have a LAN, ada MAN, ada WAN. So the MAN and the WAN, LAN, MAN and WAN ni, okay, dia akan determined by the physical address. It includes, okay, kat mana physical address ni akan berada? Physical address normally berada dalam frame, which will be in the data link layer. So for example, devices that responsible for this physical address, okay, is your NIC, okay, your wireless network card, okay, your bridge, okay, so they are responsible on the physical address. Okay, alright. So the next types of addressing is the logical address. So in the logical address is a very oleh kerana physical address ni, okay, dia unique, okay, kerana dia tie with the network devices. Tetapi apabila anda communicate, you cannot use a physical address semata-mata. Okay, therefore they come up with the logical addresses. So these logical addresses dia lebih universal. Okay, sebab kita ada banyak devices, okay, that need to be communicated and can be connected, okay, in the network. So you need some address which is a universal in order you can assign for any host that been connected in the network. So each host can be identified and uniquely regardless of underlying physical network. Dia tak kisah you pakai apa device sekalipun, you kena ada IP address. Okay, so maklum ni kebanyakan kita akan nampak logical address ni adalah di dalam network layer. Okay, the next one is the port address. Okay, port address normally to present ataupun for labeling, okay, the different process for each particular applications. Okay, so normally it uses an TCP/IP whereby the process will be labeled as a port address. So bila kita nak hantar, kita akan hantar dengan port address so that the devices akan tahu, oh, this one is used for the web, this one is used for the emails, okay, and this one is used for the transfer protocol, file transfer. Okay, so this is a port address, and the specific address is some application have a user-friendly addresses. Okay, so they will be designed for the specific address. Contohnya, your Google's, okay, payr.com, okay, www.payr.com, and so on. So there has been specific address, okay, and normally is used in application. Okay, so this is example of the physical address. So for example, this is a address ni, okay. So kita ada address 10, okay. So address 10 ni, okay, dia ada dalam bentuk, okay, dia akan dalam bentuk frame. So dekat frame ni akan ada address, the specific, the MAC address kita panggil, okay. So ada MAC address. So the MAC address ni dia akan ada source and destination address. Apabila kita lihat secara implementation dia, kalau kita pergi kat command prompt with the IP config, so kita akan nampak, okay, the physical address is belong to, okay, this IP and this IP address, okay, to shows, okay, the particular devices, network devices that being used for that particular data. Okay, alright. Okay, kalau wireless, you see that kalau wireless ni ada yang wired, ada wireless. So kalau you see wireless punya pun dia ada their own MAC address. So that's why dia tak boleh digunakan sebagai in the network layer. Okay, kerana dia specific. Okay, dia unique. Okay, dia tak boleh digunakan, dia tak boleh assign sebab dia fix. Okay, alright, sebab setiap address tu ada makna dia tersendiri. Okay, that is the physical address. So oleh kerana physical address ni kita tak boleh assign dia oleh kerana physical address ni is unique. Okay, you cannot assign this physical address to any other network devices. It's a fix. Okay, so therefore they come up with a universal address, which is a logical addresses, di mana every devices that been connected to the network dia ada IP address. So the IP address ni kita boleh, kalau kita tengok kat command prompt, kita akan nampak lah, this is a fork tag this is IPv4. Okay, so IPv4 is IP version 4, okay, address, di mana dia ada 4 tag. Nanti kita akan cerita lebih detail di dalam logical addressing punya topik. Okay, so bila kita hantar data, so dia dalam bentuk packet. Okay, so the packet will be sealed. Okay, with the IP address in the network layer. Okay, so contoh example devices yang in the network layer is the router. Okay, the layer 3 switch. Okay, so sebab dia able to do some routing. Okay, dia boleh tahu a part of your packet need to be sent okay, to the destination. Okay, so example of the port address, okay, kita akan nampak kat sini. Okay, so the port address will represent the services that been run by your application. So dia akan seal with your IP address. Okay, so dia dalam segment dia akan seal port address, and then dekat situ dia akan seal lagi dengan logical address with the punya port number. Okay, alright. So this is a port address. So port address normally at the transport layer. Okay, to represent you punya the services, okay, of your application during the communications. Okay, so the specific address, okay, for the specific address, okay, normally we use through the application. Contohnya awak website, awak you want to surfing the website, you have to put the URL or you have to put the addresses, okay, by using the www.yahoo.com ke ataupun google.com ke and so on. Selain daripada itu, kita juga ada specific address untuk email. Okay, setiap email ada. Bila you nak hantar email dekat to others, okay, you have to use the specific address. There's no duplications of the email address. Okay, it must be unique and very specific. Okay, as the conclusions, the network models will become a framework for the all connected devices. It's become a guideline for the manufacturers of the network devices to follow the blueprints of the network model. So ini sangat penting, okay, untuk anda faham the network model, okay, terutama sekali TCP/IP model sebab dia banyak digunakan apabila anda ini connect into the internet. Okay, and when in the network also they use a network model. Okay, dalam syllabus untuk subjek ini, okay, setiap layer ni anda akan ada topik masing-masing untuk for the next topic. Contohnya you have a signal. Okay, and then you ada macam mana signal has been transmitted. Lepas tu you ada multiplexing. Okay, semua ni adalah berdasarkan kepada network model yang you belajar hari ini. Okay, so sampai you belajar logical addressing. So logical addressing normally on the network layer. Sampai network layer je. Okay, alright. So untuk pengetahuan anda, apabila you menggunakan this kind of layer, the lower layer should be established first. Okay, contoh paling simple yang kita boleh nampak praktikal adalah sebelum anda connect to the apabila anda boleh browsing ataupun send the emails, okay, there you have to make sure that you punya connections should be your punya internet, okay, your punya cable, your punya wireless, it should be connected. They establish dulu the connection. Okay, once they has been established the connection, barulah you boleh buat surfing, barulah you boleh browsing, main game online, or do whatever activities, okay, in the internet. Okay, so that's all, okay, for this topic. Thank you.